Most people spend their entire lives staring at the outside world. They obsess over politics, society, the economy, other people's opinions, other people's behavior. And yes, the outside world is chaotic. It's unpredictable. You can influence it sometimes, but you will never fully control it. But there are three things you do control completely: your mind, your emotions, and your body. That's it. And that's where the real battle of life is fought. Because the moment you master the inner world, the outer world begins to respond differently. But most people do the opposite. They chase external victories first. They try to win money, status, recognition, success, and many of them actually succeed. Yet somehow they still feel empty. That's why success without fulfillment is the most painful form of failure. There is nothing wrong with wanting success. But success alone is not enough. Success is about achieving what you want. Fulfillment is about living what you were created for. And those two things are not always the same. One of the biggest lies people believe is that life is supposed to be easy. That if something feels heavy, if problems appear, something must be wrong with them. That's nonsense. Problems are not punishment, they are fuel. If someone has no problems, it usually means one of two things. Either they're completely asleep in life, or they have no responsibility, no mission, nothing meaningful they're building. Growth demands pressure. Expansion requires resistance. The real mistake is believing that having problems means you're failing. In truth, problems mean you're alive. Another massive illusion society sells is the idea that getting what you want will finally make you happy. People think happiness is a destination, a house, a number in the bank, a title, an achievement. Adding up that happiness doesn't come from getting. It comes from becoming. You can chase success your entire life and still feel hollow inside if you never discover what truly gives your life meaning. And the reason many people struggle with challenges isn't because they're weak. It's because their focus is too small. They're trapped inside their own heads. Modern life has trained us to expect instant gratification. These small devices in our pockets condition us to get what we want immediately. But real life doesn't work like that. Relationships don't work like that. Businesses don't work like that. Purpose definitely doesn't work like that. There's nothing wrong with ambition. But you must also search for alignment, for what you're here to express. Nobody knows their purpose at the beginning. You don't wake up one day with a clear life mission engraved on your soul. You start where you are. You do what's in front of you. You take the next step. And as you grow, clarity grows with you. Many people reach a stage, 5 years, 10 years into their career, where they begin to question everything: their work, their relationships, their body, their direction. At that moment, one of two things happens. Some people pivot. They change direction and feel alive again. Others look at their life and say, nothing is wrong. This is good. And they recommit, stronger, wiser, more mature. That's life. But if you stop growing, no matter how much you have, misery follows. Growth is not optional. It's essential. It's essential. If you want results in any area of life, find people who already have what you want. Study them. Not to copy blindly, but to understand patterns. If it's relationships, study people with strong marriages. If it's health, study disciplined bodies. If it's success, study consistent performers. They're not lucky. They're doing something differently. You don't need decades of trial and error. Success leaves clues. Learn the patterns. Apply them. Add your own personality to them. That's how transformation accelerates. Your level of happiness will never exceed your level of growth. If you're unhappy something inside you isn't expanding, usually it's an area where blame exists, where energy is leaking outward instead of being built inward. Yes, life can be unfair. Systems can be unjust. People can hurt you, but you cannot control that. What you can do is become stronger than it. Freedom doesn't come from controlling life. Freedom comes from growing beyond it. Control is an illusion. You can't control what others think. You can't control how everyone behaves. Even you have been unfair at times. That's part of being human. But you can shape your dominant internal pattern, one built on strength, compassion, discipline, service, and growth. When that becomes who you are, life feels meaningful. Not because life is perfect, but because you are walking a powerful path. Confidence does not come from thinking. It comes from doing. People who fear speaking are trapped in self-evaluation. How am I doing? Am I good enough? Am I strong enough? That mindset destroys confidence. Confidence is built through repetition, through practice, through action taken in private before performance in public. But the great ones aren't lucky. They prepare when nobody is watching. They earn certainty through discipline. Self-esteem works the same way. It cannot be given. It cannot be gifted. It cannot be praised into existence. Self-esteem is earned quietly through difficult actions that you know stretched you. It's not virtue signaling. It's not social approval. It's knowing deep inside that you did something hard when you could have quit. The fastest way to build self-esteem is to care about something bigger than yourself. When your focus is only on you, your mind becomes judgmental, obsessive, limiting. But when you attach yourself to a mission, your children, your work, a cause, something meaningful, self-consciousness fades. You stop asking, how am I doing? And start asking, how can I serve? That's when energy multiplies. Life is a series of battles, internal and external. But if you keep moving forward, you slowly defeat the fears that once controlled you. And when you do, you become the hero of your own story. Not because you read it somewhere, but because you lived it. And just when you think you've arrived, life calls you again. A new challenge, a higher level, a deeper journey. It never ends. And that's what makes life beautiful. Everything changes. Everything eventually ends. That truth sounds heavy, but it's actually freeing. It teaches appreciation. It reminds you that now matters, and it reveals this truth. What comes next can always be better, if you decide to make it so. Your past does not define your future. Your biography is not your destiny. What you decide today and tomorrow shapes your life. The past only controls you if you keep living there. Driving forward while staring in the rearview mirror guarantees a crash. Yes, what happened to you may have been painful, unfair, traumatic, but if you cling to it, you sacrifice your future. Strong people are not created by comfort creates weakness. Weakness creates chaos. Chaos creates pressure. Pressure creates pressure. Pressure creates strength. Strength then rebuilds greatness. Be firm with yourself, but don't destroy yourself with self-hatred. Beating yourself down drains energy. And low energy leads to low performance and low joy. Real happiness comes from progress. Progress creates vitality. Progress creates meaning. Progress creates contribution. That's why people with money, fame, awards still fall into depression, because growth stopped. Life is an inner game. Where focus goes, energy flows. You don't experience life. You experience what you focus on. What's wrong is always available. So is what's right. It's not about blind positivity. It's about intelligent focus. You cannot be grateful and fearful at the same time. You cannot be grateful and angry at the same time. Gratitude shifts your nervous system. Start your day grounding yourself. A few minutes of appreciation. A few minutes of compassion. A few minutes of envisioning what you want. Not begging for it, but feeling it as real. That wiring changes perception. And perception shapes destiny. Shapes destiny. You can accomplish a lot with low self-esteem, but fulfillment requires alignment with something meaningful. An extraordinary life is not one definition. It's life on your terms. For some, it's family. For others, creation. For others, business, art, impact. What matters is movement toward what truly matters to you, while contributing beyond yourself. Mission creates energy. Lack of confidence is rarely the problem. Lack of mission is, when something bigger than you is on the line, you discover strength you never knew existed. Stop obsessing over how. The moment you start with a how, fear takes over. Focus on direction first. Methods reveal themselves later. Most people invest energy into trivial information instead of mastering the fundamentals. Body, emotions, finances, relationships, purpose, spirit, energy first. Emotions second. Skill third. Without energy, nothing works. Discipline your inputs. Guard your mind. Choose what you consume. Perspective transforms experience. People are only toxic when you give them power. Change the meaning, and you reclaim your state. Most people focus on what's missing, even successful ones. That creates perpetual scarcity. Achievement without appreciation is exhaustion. Your mind is software, but you are not software. Use your mind, or it will use you. Passion fuels genius. Hunger sustains it. The greatest leaders never lose hunger. They anticipate. They prepare. They build during winter so they can thrive in springs. History proves this. The greatest companies were built in hard times. This is not your downfall. This is your training ground. Life is lived in decades, not days. Grow, give, serve, progress. That is the path. And if you keep walking it, no matter the storms, life will not just be successful, it will be meaningful.